Alright guys, welcome back to OP Tinkers. This is going to be a video on how to install or change the bulbs in a 2021 WRX. This is my car that I use every day. Basically, it has the base headlights. Subaru did offer an LED package, but mine didn't have it. So these I am running on my wife's car. And they seem to be a good deal. These are the Tech Max H11 LEDs. You can see that they have a fan in there to keep them cool, and they're just a plug-and-play unit. Subaru doesn't have anything special monitoring for the headlights, so you're not going to get any error codes or anything like that. The only thing that I recommend is to pick up a set of 168 or 194 bulbs for the eyebrows, as they call them. The eyebrows on the Subaru I'm referring to are the daytime running lights. It lights up on the outside of the housing, and we're going to be replacing those as well because I don't want the 5,000K roughly headlights with 3,000 or 2,000K daytime running lights. It's just not going to look right. So once again, you're going to need the 168 or 194 to replace those. I got the cool white, and we'll dig into it here in a minute. Alright guys, and now that we have the car in position, this is what you're looking at underneath the hood. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is actually unscrew these clips here and here, so you can go ahead and remove this whole airbox piece as a unit. Then you want to have yourself like a little screwdriver or a pry tool once you get them unscrewed, just to like kind of pop them out. Once that's done, there is a little screw down here that retains the airbox, and then there's one right there as well. You're going to want to remove those two so we can actually pull out the whole airbox. I'll film myself doing that as well. Basically, in here is the light setup housing. Subaru made it pretty easy for you to change the brights. They're right there, but anything else is kind of relegated in this corner. We may end up having to remove the battery or just tilt it. I'll go over that as well when I'm in the middle of that process, but for now we're going to go ahead and get that removed first. Alright guys, so to get to that bottom bolt, you're going to want to use a long extension, 10mm, and it just breaks loose really easily. I already loosened that piece right there, just a 10mm wrench. And then we're going to snap those two clips and pull the whole assembly out. This piece, once removed, you can see the two holes exposed, and it literally just slides right out, and you can kind of just set that anywhere that you need to. Then what you got to do next, guys, is just unclip these clips right here and then pull out your air filter. This is a good time to vacuum off the back of it and clean it off as well. As you can see, I have some debris in mine, even though the car doesn't have very many miles on it. So again, this just separates here. Once you get it separated, it'll unclip from the bottom here, and you can just pull this whole unit out. So now that you have access to the lights, we can see them deeper in there right here. Alright guys, so now you can see that you have access to the bulb. So what you're going to want to do is rotate it towards you. Actually, I'm sorry, rotate it away from you. That's how you unlock the bulb to get it out. From there is a little clip. It's kind of hard to see, but this right here, you press down on this, and that's how you're actually able to get the bulb out for the eyebrow, to change that right there. So I'm going to get the new bulbs in, clipped in place. It's just the reverse of how we pulled them out, and I'll go to the installation, show the installation from there. Alright guys, so new bulbs are in place. As you can see, it just clips in just like that, and then this is plug and play plugs into the harness just like that. You want that end that has the tip to click into the back of the harness just like that, and then when you lock them in, you just rotate, do the opposite. So rotate towards you to lock it in place, rotate away from you to unlock it. So I got it in place, rotate it so that the wire is facing straight down, and that way you know it's positioned. Everything's clipped in here, looks fine. It's going to tuck that harness where it needs to be. And then it's hard to see, but the WRX kind of has like a projector lens right here. What we're actually replacing is the low beam here and then the eyebrow light right here. So both of those are going to be LED when the car is running. So now that we got that side buttoned in, let me go flip the headlights on and we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, so these are clipped in. As you can see here, the eyebrow light and the LED much brighter and put a nice cutoff pattern in versus the factory kind of 3000K versus 5000K. I still got to do my fogs, but we'll do that at a later time frame. But I hope this shows you as to why you would want to do this. It is a worthwhile upgrade. And then let's move on to the other side. We're going to work on reassembly on the other side first. On actually this side first. Alright guys, once you get this assembly back in, you can see that you want to get that back through the bracket, and then once you get your air filter cleaned, you're going to want to go ahead and put that back in here like so. And then it's going to fight you a little bit when you're trying to get it back in, so make sure that those line up. Start that bolt, and then down here you're going to want to make sure you line that up with the hole that it goes in. You can see now that it's like lined up, so then you're going to want to put that bolt in, start it by hand, and then get everything tightened up. As you can see, I just snugged this on up here. She's tight. Obviously I put a little bit more pressure on that than that, and we can go ahead and reinstall this piece that goes right here. So we'll just leave that there, and I'll show you guys how it simply just goes and clips in right here, and then you got your two holes that line up right there for the, I guess you could call it cold air induction. And then obviously you want to tighten up that guy as well before we move on to the right side. Alright, so in order for us to do this side, we're going to have to remove the battery on the car. So to do that, basically this J hooks into here. You remove this 10mm bolt right there. Once that's off, you can undo this J hook and set it off to the side. The main reason we have to remove the battery is because not only do we have to get the light here, but we got to get the inside eyebrow. It's going to be really difficult to do that with this in place. I've seen somebody just tilt it out of the way, but I'm just finding that too difficult. This, believe it or not, plastic piece is a nut that needs to be undone. You can't just pull it off. You can't just pull this off to get that out. So I'm going to keep undoing that right now. The battery cable is also a 10mm, so you want to go ahead and just loosen that So it'll just go ahead and pull off of the battery like so. And you're going to want to loosen the 10 millimeter on the positive side as well. Just be sure to not let this clamp or this touch the negative of the battery. That's disconnected. Now I can finish trying to undo this plastic clamp here, which seems to be a little bit more difficult than it probably should be. Alright, that's off. You gotta pull up on it while I'm doing it or it won't release. Seems a little overcomplicated for the battery post, but that's just me and my thoughts. Then you just gotta undo the 10. That holds the remaining clamp in place. Alright, my hook just came out, so you can set this off to the side. You're going to want to fold this back so we can go ahead and remove the battery. Be careful when lifting this out. This thing probably weighs like 25-30 pounds. Alright, battery's up and out. Now that the battery is out, we can go ahead and look at putting in the lamps. Okay. Alright guys, so this is the driver's side of the car, and this is the bulb you're going to be replacing. And I hope you can see this because I know I didn't do a good job of this on the other side, but this is the clamp you need to get the eyebrow light out. What you're going to want to do is push up, and then it actually, you can, it's kind of a little difficult since I got it in here. Maybe I actually had it loose. No, so up. And then, yeah, there it goes. It's a little difficult, but it slides out. And there's the bulb for the eyebrow. And then when, obviously, we're going to need to undo this clip right here. So, sorry about that. You want to press down on it and wiggle. Make sure you release. Oh, didn't. Alright, bear with me while I undo this clip here. Alright, now that I got the clip off, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this towards me. That releases the light to come out. And now I'm going to put in both bulbs. With the eyebrow, these do have a polarity. So make sure before you put it back in that you double check that that lights up by turning on the lights. And then from there, it should light up. If it doesn't, just pull it back out, swap it the other side around, and then it should light up. If it doesn't, then you probably have the wrong bulb or something else, but I'm going to go ahead and swap these out real quick. Alright guys, and once again, just you can't double check the polarity on this side with the battery unhooked, so you're going to have to drop the battery back in here and test it to make sure, and then just pull it back out if you have to before putting the clamp. But up is loose, that's how you pull it out. Once you get it installed, you simply just rotate the clip down, and she's locked in, she ain't going nowhere. So, locked in, now that's plugged in and tucked away. Now I'm going to have to retest fit, drop in my battery, and make sure it lights up. If not, I'll pull them back out, switch the bulb around, and go from there. Alright guys, this mine I did actually have to end up reversing the polarity. So again, it kind of sucks, but it is pretty easy to pull the battery out once you just leave it disconnected. Don't put this back the actual strap while you're just trying to connect it. Just loosely put those back on, turn your lights on, and make sure that both are lighting up. You can see the light bulb here and here, so we know we have both lights. It's the same on the other side as well, so I know both LEDs are functioning properly. So now what we're going to do is do the reinstallation of the battery. So let me get this set up and I'll show you guys from there. Alright guys, so what you're going to want to do is drop your bracket down on here, and then right behind the battery, it's hard to miss, there's a hole that you're going to want to line up. So that hooks in here, then you want to loosely get that threaded down. I can't show it, there's honestly not enough room for the camera. I apologize. We're kind of low tech here at OP Tinkers for right now. So what you're going to want to do is grab the threaded rod, and there is a hole in the side. At the bottom base of the battery, you'll see it. Can't miss it. It's on the right side. That's where the bolt, the hook goes into, and then you want to get this bolt tightened down. And then from there, you're going to take your trusty 10 millimeter, which I have over here, and just start tightening everything down. I'm going to start off with the negative terminal because I have not tightened that back down yet. Be very careful not to touch anything metal while you're tightening this. Also make sure that it's fully seated on the battery. Mine is, so I don't have to worry about that. You don't need to reef on it, just make it tight. Alright, so mine is on there. Alright, so get my socket off. Now what you're going to want to do, make sure you tighten that bolt or nut down first before you put this plastic piece back on, because you will not be able to tighten it after the fact. So bear with me while we go ahead and tighten that here. Alright, so now that I got my 10 millimeter, we're going to go ahead and tighten these straps down. Alright, so we're going to move this over a little bit so it's back in the center of the battery. You have to bend that plastic piece out of the way. Give her a few cranks on that side, and then you're going to want to tighten it on this side. Keep everything as even as possible. Alright, so that's pretty darn tight. I want this centered. That's just my OCD kicking in, so I'm going to loosen this real quick so I can recenter that bracket. Alright, so there. Center. Alright, so that's tight enough. Battery's held down tightly. Now, actually, you can just press that down once it's hooked on. Apparently, you don't need to thread it when you're pushing it on. It's just more difficult to pull off. See, as you can see, I really can't even pull it off. But anyways, battery's reconnected. Everything's tight. This is tight. This is tight. And you just take your plastic clip, cover that side up, and you're done. Both LED headlights are installed. I hope this was as good for you guys as it was for me. I apologize here. I don't have the best camera setup, but I just figured I'd try and capture this because it's a little bit more difficult than some cars. But if you guys have any questions or anything along those lines, comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. As always, like, subscribe, and keep on wrenching. Thank you guys.